Africa, whose population is expected to double by 2050, is paying a heavy price for climate change. According to the latest report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, North Africa and West Africa are particularly affected, with temperature increases expected between 1.5 and 3 Celsius degrees, depending on the assumptions taken into consideration affecting the health, productivity, and food security of the populations. A significant impact in a context where 60% of the workforce depends on agriculture, but 20% of the continent's population lives in food insecurity.
Dans 25 ans, un homme sur quatre sera africain.
In 25 years, 1 in 4 people will be African, and Africa's active workforce will be larger than China's. And I refuse to say that the decision we make today and the decision we will make in the years to come will be decisive for the future of Africa, especially in light of its significant demographic evolution.
Et surtout, à la lumière de son évolution démographique importante.
One of the challenges facing the new president of the African Development Bank, Sidi Ould, will be climate finance. However, current climate financing needs in Africa are between $1.6 and $1.9 billion. A large portion of the available climate funding is provided as loans rather than grants, leaving the continent in debt. Under the presidency of Hakeem Deshna, the AfDB recently issued a $750 million hybrid capital on the global climate capital markets.
You notice that the Horn of Africa is suffering from floods, is suffering from a lot of atrocities of climate change. When you look at Sahel region, the desert, the famine is increasing every day. You saw what happened to Malawi, Mozambique, about the floods, yet we are not responsible. Yet our vulnerability level is too low. Yet we cannot have the enough funds to manage the atrocities that are happening to Africa. I think we need to start thinking about adaptation as a priority. We need to fine-tune our funding to meet the demands that we signed off in 2015 in Paris.
The fight against climate change in Africa relies mainly on cross-border collaborations. The Great Green Wall initiative, supported by the African Development Bank, is an example. This project aims to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land by 2030 by planting a 8,000-kilometer-long forest belt across the Sahel from Senegal to Djibouti, an initiative that aligns with the Nairobi Declaration published in 2023 following the first African Climate Summit held in Kenya, a statement that calls for a 43% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from African countries by 2030.